Okay, so hey everybody, we are here with another Lunch and Learn, and we are awesomely excited to have with us Joyce Bremer, who's an agent in Remax Jefferson City, runs a big team. Hello, Joyce.
Oh, hi, Elizabeth.
You look great in your Remax red.
Well, you look great too.
Oh, thanks. We're all having fun in our studios. So sometimes it's nicer to be in the studios because you get your lighting and get all your fun stuff. But I have realized my house is really cold during the day. I'm like, oh, I have to make adjustments at home. Okay, so Joyce, I'm
I need
looking
your lighting because it looks great.
lighting. Yes, the lighting is easy to do. I'm looking at your computer screen behind you. You have a picture, I think, of your team on your screen. Who is on your team and what do they do?
Okay, so Stephanie Bice, she is my assistant. She's been with me for 11 years. She's fabulous. I have Michelle Baker. She's had her real estate license forever and does that and closings. Smart, sweet, beautiful. And then I have Kim Idell and Kylie Warner. Kylie's been with me for 11 years and Kim has been with me for 5. So I'm just super blessed to have a great team and some longevity and everything that goes along with it. So,
And what is the role of Kim and Kylie?
oh, they're both buyers agents.
Okay.
Yeah, they do a great job. Just they're smart, they're hardworking, they're proactive. The clients love them. So
And they just do buyers.
just do buyers.
Do you
Yep, and
have,
I do all the listings.
you do all the listings. Do you have any expectation of your buyers agents of them bringing business to the team?
Um, they are expected to, and they do. They do a great job with their sphere of influence and, keeping on top of Facebook. And the more that they've been in it, the longer they've been in it, they have more repeat and referrals. Um,
And I
so,
bring that question up because there's sometimes agents who want to get on a team because they think that they're going to get referrals from the agent. But there is sometimes an expectation that that person who comes on the team is bringing things to the team as well.
absolutely. It's a win win from both sides.
Sure. So your admin, top admin person, what are they doing 8 to 5?
Um, Everything. Really, Stephanie, she's the glue of my team. We use Wise Agent. So,
Okay.
we have a plan and a system for everything. So, every listing that goes in, she does a lot of the pictures, the flyers, the web commercials, posting on Facebook, Instagram. She takes care of all that. And then I also have some rentals. So, she pays my bills. She's my everything.
She's doing everything for you. So does she manage your rentals and Wise Agent also, or is she using QuickBooks or something for that?
Well, we just do QuickBooks for that, and the rentals, they don't take too much time. When one comes empty, it takes a little bit of time to show it and find a new renter. But a lot of our people were used to collecting rent each month, and 9 out of 10 people pay, so that's not a huge problem. And then when someone calls with something to be fixed, Steve, my husband, does a good job of helping out on that end. So I do more of the paperwork side. He does more of some of the repairs. And then we're lucky after so many years to have good contacts. People to help us out with painting or plumbing or different things like that.
When did you buy your first rental?
I bought my first rental my first year in real estate. I was 23 years old, graduated from Lincoln University, and my family was into rentals. I knew it was a smart investment, and so we bought a duplex, and we lived in it for the first 7 years.
Mhm.
So,
And how many do you have today?
probably around 50 units.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Um, Somewhere there. So it's a mix. I've got some, multi-family, some single family, some kind of restaurant, strip mall, office building. So I've got a big variety.
Are you still intentionally purchasing rental property?
No, I'm on the opposite end of it.
Okay.
I'm pretty close to paying most of it off. I would say by the time I'm 55, I'll have everything but 2 buildings paid off.
Okay.
So, looking forward to that and working hard to get that done.
And then what do you want to do?
Then I think I will just play. I think I'll just maybe do it part-time, enjoy life, travel, go to the lake quite a bit. Just the fact I'm a hard worker and I'm used to staying busy. But I think at that point in time, just knowing that I can do what I want when I want is super exciting.
So what have you done to prepare yourself for that?
Um, at the very beginning,
Because you're a planner. I mean, like I've had conversations with you before. You have yearly planning retreats with your team. I mean, you're a planner. So how does that go in your head?
Absolutely. So every year I just plan to save so much money and buy another rental and just, I was very deliberate about it. I knew what I wanted to do. I was like, hey, by the time I'm this age, I want to be able to retire and making this much income. So that means I have to buy so many rentals. And I mean, just even probably 2 weeks ago, I was on the phone with my banker and say, okay, if I pay this much, we pay this one off by next June, then we've got the other few. And so just still even today, probably talk to my banker probably at least 6 times a year on, where we're at, what's the balance, what do I got to do to pay it off by this date.
So I ask you this question because I think it's critical just in understanding your money and understanding your, managing it. How often do you think you refi?
I haven't refied a tremendous amount. Some of my commercial stuff is more on like a 1-3 year arm. I'm going to say maybe 5 or 7 years ago, the interest rate went down to like 2.275 or whatever. So I refinanced some of them then, and then as they come due, I'll kind of adjust my loan at that point in time. But I typically pay down, not take money out.
Sure. Yeah. Or just, I wondered how you were kind of navigating that, because that obviously comes into play with what we're doing, and having a good relationship with your banker is critical to do that. Yeah. Have you used the same bank all along, or have you switched?
I have. Yep. Hawthorne Bank, Jason Schwartz, he was my lender on my first duplex, and he just took great care of me, and it's been a good relationship. And so I've stayed with them, and they've been a good source of referrals. And so it's a win-win.
So what advice would you give to someone if they were thinking about starting up a team?
I think first of all, knowing your why, why do you want to do it? I think, second of all, I think, knowing your why, I think getting the right person is key. Do you fit well together? Do you have the same beliefs, same expectations? Do you, how is this going to benefit both of us?
And how do you determine that?
I guess I knew why I wanted to start a team. It was like the market was exploding, and so was my business, and I just wanted a life. It's like I needed to have some free time, and I also know that maybe I'm good with, better with people and not as good with paperwork. So I think having the right person in the right role has helped.
Kind of becomes that person. Do you do any personality testing or anything like that, or do you just go with your gut?
Yeah, well, I at the beginning I just went with my gut, and it was not a wise move. I realized in time that doing some research as far as the DISC test and what kind of personality do they have and what are their strengths. I also think even in the interviewing process, asking them questions, asking their previous employer questions. I went through I'm on my fourth assistant. But and I've had a team for, let's see, I've had a team for 15 years. And so the first several ones I screwed up many times. And so then I got gun shy and I got a little smarter about doing a lot more research up front. And even the last time I brought my husband in and my team in to do an interview just to make sure it was the right fit and I was making the right choice.
So along the way, along the journey, I know you've taken a bunch of education classes, you've been doing this for a while. I think there comes kind of this point to where, you take classes, you go to classes, and then you kind of feel comfortable. And then unless something significantly changes or like our cheese moves, you kind of feel good about what you're doing. Where do you think you've gotten the best education, or what helped you, with your business mind along your path?
Well, this may be a little embarrassing, but I went to Star Power long ago, and it just changed my way of thinking and plans and systems. And then really, I just think realtors are extremely giving. If you ask anyone to help you, they would in a heartbeat. And so, like you mentioned, I even bring my team down, probably have done it 10 times to visit Jeff Krantz and Jane Kelly and Fran Campbell and Jason Whittle. And actually years ago, before I started Remax, I went to, is it Jackie Bulgen? She's an agent in Columbia. So even before I went to Remax, I'm like, I want to go learn from someone, see what they're doing, how can I better myself? So I think that's a great resource for people just reaching out to other realtors.
So I want to clarify when you said Star Power, because if somebody doesn't know it's part, so this was an old Howard Britton class, and I would equate Star Power to maybe Brian Buffini today. Probably again, and I don't think there's anything embarrassing about that other than it was a while ago, but I think that's what you've got to do when you're starting the foundation, right? You've got to build a foundation someplace and not just assume that it's going to happen without investing in those pieces of it. And so that was kind of a retreat thing that he did. So you mentioned you visited other teams, but I know that I have also been with you when you have met with other people who were thinking about a team. So what advice again, what is it that your team does that you think is your secret sauce that you're sharing, and that you would tell somebody if they came and met with Joyce?
I think first of all, again, getting the right people makes a huge difference. I think having your goals set to exactly what you want and to believe in yourself. I know sometimes that could be a bit challenging, but knowing what you want and believing in yourself and having that confidence makes a huge difference. I think being consistent makes a difference. Drive. I think, I went to one of those Howard Britton classes years ago, and I think you can kind of motivate people one way or the other, but you can't teach drive. So I think that's important.
So what do you wake up and do every day between 9 and noon? 7 and noon, 6 and noon, 5 and noon. When are you waking up?
So I'm waking up between 6 and 7. I've got 2 kids in college, so empty nester, so it makes my mornings a little easier, but I get up and I get ready every morning and I come to the office. I know everyone's different. I know 2020 looks different to everyone, but I think getting up and showing up is one of the biggest things you can do. It seems like the other successful people in the office are here. And I know it's a little different in 2020, but get up and then once I'm at work, obviously, you're first reading emails and, maybe putting out some fires, making sure everything's correct. We use Wise Agent, and I just think that's huge. Just having some CRM that works for you. But we have a plan and a system to every single thing we do. Anytime we get a new listing, anytime something goes under contract, anytime there's a price reduction, we'll start a plan in our computer. We're all obviously networked together, and it'll tell a certain person to do a certain thing on a certain day. And I know sometimes you can kind of get, like, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to follow up on this. But, having that as your backup plan makes a huge difference. Even it will go even to after, as soon as the property closes, 2 weeks, it will remind me to reach out to them to make sure how they're doing. And then again in 6 months, and then every year after that forever. And so basically, well, I can kind of show you a little bit. I don't know if it will come up here, you'll be able to see it or not, but well, it's tough to see, but basically, I would say 20 to 25 phone calls come up on my computer screen a week to call past clients, just to constantly stay in contact with them. Even as we list a property, it goes through several things, and it tells, Stephanie to do the flyers and the remarks and Instagram. It will come on my computer, to send them a handwritten thank you for advertising, for listing with us. It'll come on Michelle's computer to say, hey, this is where we've advertised your property. It'll tell Stephanie what day to send out, hey, I'm Stephanie, I'm assistant, if you ever need anything, give me a call. So it's very detailed, and tells all of us to do what to do on what day. And it's just probably one of the best things I could suggest to people.
Well, and you breezed over it, but I want to hit it back because I know it's something that I've heard you say this multiple times, and to you, it's just kind of like, yeah, that's what I do. But you make those phone calls every day. Yes.
Sometimes it may not be that day, but by the end of the week, we make them. And I just have always believed that the phone is a money-making machine. I think if you pick it up and you keep in contact with your past clients, and I think, Facebook and Instagram and that type of thing is good too for staying in contact with people. But I think being able to pick up that phone and have that relationship and let them hear your voice, and when I'm calling these people, obviously a lot of times I'll get their voicemail, but just, hey, I'm just checking on you, how you're doing. I just want to say thank you. I just am very grateful for your past business. And if you need anything or have any questions, I'm happy to help. Just give me a call anytime. And so just reaching out and letting them know that you care and you're grateful, and you're here for them if they need anything makes a big difference.
Do you feel like in the past 20 years that you have done that regularly every week?
Yeah, at the beginning, not as much, but then, like I said, probably 15, 20 years ago, I went to Howard Britton class, and basically they were big on that. And so I just made sure it went in here. I also, any person that's ever bought or sold a house for me in whatever month it may be. So this month we're in October. I have a long list of them, and they'll get an handwritten anniversary card. And we'll also send like a grateful postcard to them as well, just checking in on them. So I have been pretty consistent, not as much at the beginning. And I do vacation, or, there will be those, weeks in the summer where it's crazy busy and I don't get them done. It may get moved from one week to the next. But yes, for the most part.
I laugh because, Joyce, again, I've heard you say this before, and you're like, you had me get moved from one week to the next, where as sometimes it's a struggle, and someone's saying it got moved from 1 year to the next, and I only did it every 3 years. You're like, oh, it got moved from 1 week, and oh my gosh. But you've been, again, it's those consistent steps along the way have allowed you to get to where you've got with your business. And can I ask, and can I say, I know the answer. So, what is your annual production kind of average?
Well, the last couple of years, we're 27, 28 million. This year we're shooting for 32.5. So, always shoot a bit higher, and we're having a great year, which is amazing to think, we were slowed down for a month with the whole COVID thing, but we've kept trucking along.
32.5, not 32.2, 32.5. She knows
Yep.
her goals. Very consistent about it. So do you pay for leads?
Probably every other year. In the winter it gets slow and we think we should. And I mean, honestly, even right now, I mean, I have some deal with realtor.com. It was like you get a couple calls a month for $58 and it hasn't worked out. So for me personally, from time to time we'll do it here and there, but it's not our best source of business.
What is your best source?
68% of our business is repeat referrals.
What was that percentage?
68.
Okay.
Just, we've done a good job with our clients to begin with and just continue to stay in contact with them. So that's been
If 68 is repeat and referral, what is the remainder?
Okay, so our sphere of influence, so we've got rentals. Sorry, I got my business plan because every year basically we go through and see exactly where it's coming. So basically this past year, 35% was passed, 22 was referrals, 12% is because we had the listings, 30% is our sphere of influence, so people that we knew, and then 1% from realtors, and we really didn't have any from the internet.
Okay. And that's not been a key focus of yours per se, because you know where the other businesses come from. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so much easier when a past client just says to call us or, hey, a friend or, a family member reaches out and says, hey, I want to buy a house. You just don't have to work that hard for those leads, and they just seem to be quality leads and more loyal and just fun to work with.
So will you do me a favor, because I know it's right in that cabinet, pull that business plan out again. What else is in that plan?
Okay. So first of all, we have our mission statement. Second, we have our past business. Third, where does our present business come from? Fourth is our job descriptions with our plans and systems. 5, what is our future business? So basically, what are our goals? 6 is our review and accountability plan. 7 is budget, and then 8 is just my, personal financial statement and my personal goals.
And is this what you go over when you do your team retreats?
We do. We actually started like a mid-year retreat, so that was good. And then we every year in December we'll go down. I don't know. Go to the lake and maybe for a couple hours go visit a team and then work on our goals. And we'll go over this every year. And it just helps because there's just power in people. Just have some good synergy and hey, where are we? Where do we want to go? Do you believe in this goal? Where do we want to advertise next year? Do we want to continue to have a customer appreciation party? Do we want to mail? Do we want Facebook? Want to do a lot more Facebooking, Instagram. Do we want to spend, here's our budget, do we want to do a billboard? What do we want to do? And so we've done that for years, and I think that helps us get a good focus for the next year. And then things are less likely to slip through the cracks. So that way you don't all of a sudden you're 6 months into it and go, oh, well, what are we going to do for the year? You already have a plan and you know what month you're going to send a mailer, what you're going to send, those type of things.
Well, it also helps keep you on track for when those, again, those squirrels come running at you, right? Wait, no, we've already got something planned for July. That's okay. We're good. If you need to adjust it, great, but you've already thought it through and then you're preparing for it. So you do tell me about your photo shoots with your team. And I don't know if you're still doing this, but I remember at one point you told me you basically shoot all your pictures and then have your campaign ready for the year.
we're not as good with that. I know our last billboard, we had someone come in and do a photo shoot for us. So it's kind of a little bit more hit and miss.
Okay.
Probably need to update some of our photos, but
Fun.
we do that from time to time.
But you've thought about who you're sending to, I mean, like local high schools, and I know you've done some of that stuff in the past and then thought about that. Like to match up with the high school games, calendars and things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've done that. We've done all kinds of things. I'll actually show you. We just did, hang on. We just did our last one was a postcard to all of our past clients. It says basically, do you want the real estate scoop? And then the market's hot, cool down with a free scoop of ice cream. And we did this with our Central Dairy. Everyone loves their ice cream. So,
Sure.
we try to kind of give something of value, and also try to thank people for being great clients.
What is, what's your marketing budget for the year?
Okay, so our advertising is $25,000 a year.
Okay.
And basically, year to date at the end of September, we're 15,563.66. But we also have, that doesn't include postage or, there's supplies or different things like that. So sometimes things go into different categories.
Joyce, the coolest thing about you is every time I've interviewed you, every time I've met you, you are more organized with your business plan than any other agent I've ever met. I mean, here you are, here's what I've spent on my advertising throughout the course of the year. I mean, she's tracking the numbers, she's keeping it real, and you're a very good and true team leader, and it shows in your business and just, I think, all of your relationships, and we're glad you're at RE/MAX.
You're very, very sweet, and thank you. I've been here 20 years this month, and it's been wonderful. Anybody that ever asks, about coming to RE/MAX, I'm like, absolutely. It's top notch. We've got a great office, good leaders, lots of support, and so you guys have been wonderful.
Well, you're so gracious to share. So thanks for doing this with us today. And we'll post this recording out on the Facebook groups for anybody who didn't see it. So appreciate it. And
thank you.
I will love to see the numbers at the end of the year if you hit that 32.5.
Sounds great. Thank
All right,
you.
thanks, Joyce. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.